Hello, welcome to my channel. Today is another round of TBR Clever. If you are new here, you can go ahead and check out my past TBR Clever games where I explain everything. I'd like to get my videos shorter, so I'm not going to go into all of that right now. I'm filming this early, so I have time to figure out my non-clever TBR before April 1st. So I will have to insert a clip of how I'm doing or how I did for my TBR because I still got 9, including today 10 more days of the month to finish my books from the March TBR Clever game. I still have quite a few left to do, but I believe in myself that I can do it, and that's all that matters. Hello, Editing Gina here to let you know how I did for my March TBR. And it's now April 1st, so the month is officially over. And when I recorded the video for the game, it was on like the 21st, I believe, right after Becca's Bookopoly, so maybe the 22nd. And for my total clever TBR, there was a total of 11 books, and I read them all. The books that were on that TBR were Amari and the Night Brother, When the Moon Was Ours, Love from A to Z, Reckless Road, Priory of the Orange Tree, Arusha and the End of Time, Homegoing, The Way of Kings, The Obelisk Gate, Lagoon, and Born a Crime. I read it down to the wire. I think The Way of Kings, The Obelisk Gate each had 100 pages left on the 31st, and Lagoon had about 100 pages left. So I finished all of those, and technically Born a Crime ended up finishing this morning, but I'm still counting it. I only had an hour and a half left of the audiobook this morning, but I have the physical book. I just really wanted to listen to Trevor listen to it. If I had read the book, it would have been done way earlier. But the only audiobook that I could find was on some random website, and you couldn't change the speed. So I had to listen to the audiobook at 1x speed, which to me is really slow. I can read faster than that. But I wanted to hear it in his voice. So yeah, I gave myself a little bit of an extension because it was just, I couldn't speed it up. I couldn't do anything about it other than switching to the book, which I didn't want to do. So, yay me! Not that I have punishments in this game, but if I did have them, maybe I should. Have I talked about this before? I'm having a brain fart because I don't have punishments, but should I? I mean, I almost always finish my TBR. It's very rarely that I don't, but I do add so much extra stuff that if I don't prioritize the TBR Clever, the Clever TBR, then it's possible that I could just read everything else first. So should I have a punishment? Number 1, let me know. Number 2, if I did have a punishment, what would it be? The majority of my books I read through the library or Scribd. Like, I only own physically 12 unread books. And so unhauling doesn't make sense to me. It's not really a punishment. Usually once I read a book, unless I'm like super in love with it, half the time I donate it to the library anyway because I don't have the space. So it's not a punishment. So I don't know. I don't buy a ton of books, so going on a book buying ban isn't going to hurt me any. I'm stumped. maybe I should have like some punishment prompts or something, but do I want to torture myself? No. So I need your help. Let me know if I should do punishments and some ideas of what those punishments could be. And on the other hand, if I do finish like I normally do, should I get a reward, or is that overkill? Because I will most likely always finish.
Can I have
Questions? Let me know. And to make my editing life a little easier, I am going to not do separate little clips. I'm just going to roll it and then hold it up, or kind of tilt my camera down maybe, so I don't have to input tons of clips. Okay, we're gonna start with my nonfiction list, which is the white dice. So I'm gonna roll, and we've got, I don't know if you can see that, 3, which is, drum roll please, the extra book that I was gonna read this month that I didn't put on my TBR is now officially on my April TBR, and that is Carrie, a Memoir of Survival on Stolen Land by Toni Jensen. This is a nonfiction book by, it was an Indigenous author, and it's basically what it says. It's a memoir, and I'm excited to read it. The next one we'll go with is Orange, and that's just my a prompt pick list, basically. Just all sorts of ways to pick books is what this game is all about. And I got the number, oh my gosh, 2. And 2, I think I've had this before. This is an indie pub book, so an independently published book. Okay, I did some research and found a couple of YouTube videos that gave recommendations for indie and self-published books, and a few of them were actually available on Kindle Unlimited for free. So I decided to go with On Lunatime by Amber Crawley, I think it was. Yeah. I don't know what I did with it, but it'll be on the screen. Because that will also for sure fit one of the April Avengers prompts of multiple timelines. And for this book is, yeah, Amber Crawley. It's about a young girl, Vanessa. She spent her life in and out of foster care, with only a vague memory of the woman that left her behind. And then it basically, she ends up going, it's a time travel book, so she ends up going, traveling to the past, I think spending a few months there. I'm not sure. But that's all that I needed to know, was that it's pretty decent ratings. I mean, there's not a ton of ratings on Goodreads, but it does have a 3.88, and it involves time travel, so there's multiple timelines, so it fits my Avenger prompt, and that was an amazing find. I wasn't expecting it, but I'll take it. The next dice is, oh, my eyes got really watery for some reason. It's really irritating. Is the green dice. And oh my god, irritating. Okay, this is family pick. I guess I'll see who wants to pick a book. Okay. So it's hard to see them here, but these books down here are the books that I physically own and will still have next month that you can choose from. So we have this one, which is Ready Player One. I have The Space Between Worlds, The Salt Road, Vampires Never Get Old, Just bend down, baby. Honey Girl, The Vanishing Half, Master of Poisons, Seasons of the Storm, That Kind of Guy, At Her Feet, Normal People, Forbidden, and Fearless. Which one?
This one.
The very first one?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Thank you, Tessa.
Thank you.
Alright. I love you.
Can I go now?
Yes, you may go now. Okay, so, and this is fine. So Tessa picked Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is technically a reread for me. I read it when it first came out, like 2011? Here, come here. Let me take this out. Turn around. Okay.
You.
Okay.
You. Why you put that in my hair?
Go. Play a game. And that's why it's on the shelf, is because I do want to reread it again so I can get to Ready Player 2, which I didn't call out because I didn't want her to pick that one because I need to read this one first. And so this one's really old. It's about a virtual reality game, and there's a competition in this game where if you solve the puzzle, you get to the very end of it, you win something. I don't remember what the prize was. I don't know if it was like lots of money or something. And it's like a dystopian, dystopian, because it's not the greatest of like living conditions around the world. Like there's too many people on the planet, in my opinion, or something like that. It's 2044. Reality is an ugly place. So it's about this kid, Wade Watts, who spends all of his time in this virtual utopia known as the Oasis. And then the competition kind of creeps into real life. So it's all about this competition, and it's just like on the cover of this book, it's just like RVs piled on top of each other. But alrighty. Why can't I put this back in here? Okay. So that was roll number 3. Okay, dice 4 is the blue dice, and this is for Jesse's deck of TBR cards. And I told myself that in April I was going to take it easy. I wanted like a max of maybe like 15 books. Let's see if her deck is nice to me. Not too bad. 3. Well, let's see. What, the first time I used... Oh, this is the wrong one. The first time I used Jesse's deck, what was it I picked? The card Binge a new author's works or something. And I was like, come on now. We ain't got time for all that. Okay. I shuffle these every time, but I'm going to shuffle... I need a surface to do this on. But I'm gonna shuffle again. Alright. And I'm just gonna pick the top 3. I'm not. And put the old ones on there. I haven't put any of the previous month's cards back in the deck yet, because I want to experience the totality of Jesse's deck. And I just use like a piece of washi tape to keep it all together, because getting them in and out of the case is somewhat difficult, so I just have the case on like display on my bookcase. Alright, so here we go. We've got Page to Screen, a book adapted to screen. Okay, let me think. Freedom, Jewish protagonist, not set in wartime. Somebody was just talking about a Jewish character in a book, and I will find out. And then Double Trouble, protagonist is a twin. You know, these guys make me think. It can't just be simple like Asian author, Asian main character, or they're making me think. Okay, I will be right back. I figured it out. So for the Double Trouble protagonist is a twin prompt, I am going to pick up a book that I actually have physically. I don't own many physical books, just enough that I haven't read anyway, just enough to fit in this cart, but like now it's stuck, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to get those out like all from the end, and I don't feel like doing that right now. But the Vanishing Half, all I know about this is that it's about twin sisters that are mixed, I believe, and growing up, they grow up together in like a southern black community. One decides to like stay in that black community, and the other one like ends up passes for white and marries a white man, and I'm guessing moves to the north or something. And then it's apparently like a generational story too, so like when the next generation intersect again. So it seems interesting. I've heard it compared a lot to Passing by Nella Larson, which is also a book I want to read. And then for the Jewish protagonist prompt, I'm going to read The Calculating Stars by, what is it? Mary Robinette Cowell. I've heard a few booktubers talk about this. Most recently, I remember Murphy. Was it Murphy? Lord knows, I don't remember. I think it was Murphy. I don't know why I didn't put this one. It wasn't even on my TBR, but I believe there's a Jewish main character, one of the ladies. But this is basically like women in STEM, kind of like the movie Hidden Figures. So like these women have to like mathematician and becoming a lady astronaut. So women power, so that's fantastic. The last book, what was it? Page to Screen, a book adapted to a screen. For that, I'm gonna read I remembered I just started binge watching, well, I think I've watched the whole first season, or everything that was out, of Firefly Lane. I think it's on Netflix. And then I found out that it's based off of a book called Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. So I'm going to read that because I love the show. So hopefully the book is just or more fantastic. Yellow, our fifth dice, is a Goodreads pick. But first we've got to pick how we're going to sort Goodreads. Did I have this one already? Maybe. Date added, ascending. I feel like I've had this one already, but that's okay, because I just throw them back in there. And let's see what number on that list is number 2 on the list. Oh, it kind of rolled. I don't know if you saw that. So let's look at Goodreads real quick. And we'll go to, my books. And of course, the exception is if it is a nonfiction or a book I've already put on my TBR, I just pick, I can pick either the one above it or the one below it. So I go to my want to read list, which is up to 514 now on Goodreads. Clicked it. And we're say date added. Ascending. Ascending. So, oh, no, don't do that. Right? So it'll start with the oldest book I added. Okay. Yeah, that's descending. Okay. So, and number... Wow. Okay. Oh man, this is gonna be rough. Number 2 is The Stone Sky, which is book 3 in the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. What's funny is I am currently reading book 2, and I'm only this far into it. And this was on my last month's Clever TBR game. And the Broken Earth trilogy is about the first book it follows 3 different timelines, all following the same lady who's, what is she called? I forgot what they're called, but she can like do stuff with Earth, like they can cause like earthquakes, so they can stop earthquakes and things like that, but they're considered very dangerous, and her husband figures out and leaves with her daughter, and she has to go find her daughter, and there are trigger warnings for child death. Yeah, so it's a slow read though, so that's the only book I feel like I'm worried that I might not finish, but it'll be fine. I'll just roll it over, I guess, into The Stone Sky. So, alright, so that was yellow. Okay, last dice, and I don't know why I'm scared, but basically one of the things I wanted to do, like I wanted to come up with my own TBR game, but I also still wanted to try everybody else's games, and so this last dice is a list of 6 booktubers TBR games that I can try, and I really lucked out so far, and the past 3 months I've rolled a different number and gotten to try a different game. I feel like my luck might have run out, but I also specifically want to play a specific game, and I don't think it's going to be nice to me. Okay? Oh, come on. Come on. Give me 4. Give me a 4. Okay. It's not a 4. It's a 1, and it rolled. Oh, man. Okay. Well, actually, it's weird. It still kind of worked out, because I had changed it after January, so I technically got the same number, but I had switched to dice, but whatever. Long story. I just hit myself. Oh. But I actually just got a whole new game. So I've now done the wheel, I've done bingo, I've done Trivial Pursuit, and the 1 corresponds to Bookopoly, which is, and of course, just finished the 48-hour Bookopoly-thon, but whatever. Maybe next month I'll get lucky and I'll get a 4 so I can finally play TBR Avatar. I feel like it should just take a month and just play TBR Avatar anywhere because I made the cards. If you watch Book Roast, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a splurge, but okay, Bookopoly. Let's see. We're gonna roll for how many times around the board I have to go, which could really F me up this month. Not the greatest. I don't know if you can see that. That's a 5. Smaller would have been better. Okay. Okay, roll 1 is 3. I didn't pick anything to use for. Alright, found a marker. So, 1, 2, 3. Historical fiction. Second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Paranormal or magical realism. And 1 booktuber recommendation. Roll 4. 4. Contemporary or romance. And roll 5. Let's have it stay on the table. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mystery thriller. Okay, well, I've gone through, figured out the 5 picks for the Bookopoly game, and it worked out pretty dang good. Okay, so for the first roll, we got historical fiction, and for that, I'm using the Avengers Reading Challenge month book, group book, Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow, and this is historical suffragette feminists become witches kind of thing. So I'm excited for that. I think the next roll was, if I did these in order, yeah, paranormal or magical realism, and for that I am choosing the newest release by Christine Feehan, which came out this month, I think, in March, and that's the, what series is this? Ghostwalkers. So these group of people that have all been like genetically modified. They were already usually like psychic to begin with, and then genetically modified. And this one is called Lightning Game. It's the newest Ghostwalkers novel, and so I'm excited for that. That will be fun. The next role was Booktube recommend. For this, I decided to pick a book that I own, because I'm trying to get through them. What was it? Space Between Worlds by Makai Jensen, which I know I've seen it recommended by multiple different people on Booktube, which is why it's on my list and on my cart. I don't know much about the Space Between Worlds, and I don't want to read the back again, but I do know that there's it's like a multiverse, so there's multiple universes, and there's at least, I don't know if it's like multiple people, like it's just known how to like cross universes, but just as there's one rule, like you can't be in a universe where there's already another you still living or something. But the character does meet herself. I want to keep it a surprise, you guys. I don't want to know everything about every book I read. And the next role was contemporary romance, and for this one I chose a book off my polyamory rep list, books that have polyamory rep that I want to check out. And this is From Scratch by Katrina Jackson. And this is a small town romance. The main character is a plus size black woman. And then I think it's a fire chief and police officer or something are the two love interests. And it sounds like it's more of a triad kind of thing. But I'll find out. And the last one, and the hardest one, was mystery thriller. I don't even know why I put this on my board. I don't know. I don't read mystery thriller. I scare easily. So I checked out Goodreads. I scrolled through some like YouTube videos for mystery thriller recs, and then I was like, duh, I follow somebody who loves mystery thriller. Even though we don't read a lot of the same stuff, I still love watching her. And that's Kayla, Books and Lala. So I went through a bunch of her recommendation videos, and then I was hoping her book club pick would work, but that sounds like it's too much for me. And then I ended up finding A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is more like a YA mystery, so hopefully it'll be perfect for me. But I also chose this one because I'm hoping to I've managed to fit in a lot of mythathon prompts with these books, and that's one that I didn't have, was a book that starts with G, and that'll work for that. So that is my TBR Clever list. A lot of books, but I am still under 20 for the month. In addition to the other books I'm reading, I call it a win, and I'm going to take it. So let me know if you've read any of the books that I've talked about, and this video is already too long. I need a shorter game. Yeah. Feel free to like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more of my nonsense. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.